Okay, thank you. Welcome, everyone, to the Municipality of Tweed Council meeting of December 9th, 2025. We always begin our meetings with our land acknowledgement. Excuse me. The Municipality of Tweed recognizes that our work takes place on traditional Indigenous territories, including the Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. We recognize and respect the history, languages, and cultures of the First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all Indigenous peoples, whose presence continues to enrich our communities. Miigwech. Please join us now in the singing of O Canada. We stay Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of today's agenda meeting? Thank you, Councilor Valley-Kett. Thank you, Deputy Mayor LaMarche. Any questions on said agenda? Seeing none, be it resolved that the agenda for the December 9th, 2025 regular council meeting be approved as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Can I have a mover and a second for the adoption of the minutes from the November 25th regular council meeting, please? Mover and a seconder. Thank you, Councilor Valley-Kett. Thank you, Councilor Fleeler. Any questions on said minutes? Seeing none, be it resolved that the minutes of the November 25th, 2025 regular council meeting be adopted as presented. All in favor? Thank you. There will be a closed meeting. Council will hold a closed meeting during the regular council meeting pursuant to Section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25 as amended to consider the following matters. B, personal matters about identifiable individual, including municipal and local board employees, staff training. And K, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be earned on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board, 2001 C25, S2392, 2017, C10 Schedule 1, S26 Circular Materials Contract. Wow, a lot of numbers there. Okay, moving on to my mayor's remarks. Yes. You go right ahead. Good. Okay, what a weekend. So many people to thank. And let's start with the Festival of Trees and their spectacular displays of Christmas tree bling. Dazzling, sparkling, festive. A moment in time that gives you hope. Thank you to Jeanette Honey and the Fair Board for the unbelievably awe-inspiring outdoor holiday market. The lights, the laughter, the throngs of people, the food, the artisans. It was a feast for the eyes and for many tummies as well. No wonder we made the list of must-see Christmas outdoor markets in Ontario. Thank you to our own Cindy Chow for convincing the Grinch to show up and sign How the Grinch Stole Christmas books. Books generously provided by Tweed Kiwanis. Rumor has it the Grinch was absolutely overwhelmed by the paparazzi. And then on Sunday, a Santa Claus parade to rival any this municipality has ever had. Hundreds upon hundreds of people lining Victoria Street, smiles upon smiles, laughter, cheers. It was contagious and it was everywhere. Thank you to Cindy Chow and Brittany Bachelary Casibo for recruiting 40 floats and ensuring there was candy for every child. Maybe next year we should consider handing out toothbrushes. And I don't know how she did it, but Cindy snagged another Grinch appearance, this time with Max steering the getaway sleigh. Together, they caused extreme havoc, stealing Christmas trees, even going so far as to steal the farmer's save Tweed Apothecary tree. It was all caught on film with two Nugent, fists in the air, chasing the Grinch. Thank you to Al Trites, who once again made sure that Santa would be riding his sleigh. To Jim Keniston for marshaling the parade, and to the OPP and Kevin Cloutier for keeping our routes safe. It was wonderful to see MP Cramp Nyman and MPP Rize at participating in our parade. Thank you to our Legion for the hot chocolate and free hot dogs, and to Rajat's Home Hardware for bringing in a couple of Santa's reindeer. Delicious food was everywhere, the St. John's cookie sale and the St. Andrew's soup and bake sale. And the day wouldn't be complete without our indoor Christmas markets at the Curling Club and the Lions Club. Lastly, the Tweed and Company Panto musical Hook, written by our own Tim Porter with magical touches by Trisha Black. This hysterical comedy had us all leaving our troubles at the door as we were enchanted by the beautiful voices and music of a stellar class. It was wonderful to welcome home James King, played Hook, Daniel Leger, Shmee, and Cassie Hope Aubin, who played Tinkerbell, who signed the entire performance. And a big how proud we are of our local youth actors. Daphne Bailey, Darcy Bailey, Peyton Greenlee, Bridget Hadjad, Aubrey Kerr, Gabe Kirkland, Bridget Moon, and Natalie Reed. On November 27th, I attended Peeps Who Care, a Councillor Valley Cat initiative that brings people together to support local causes. On the 28th, I met with Graham Copestake, the Executive Director of Trendville and the Small Business Center. On December 4th, I, CEO Diskey, Public Works Manager Reed, and Parks and Rec Economic Development Manager Chow joined Fire Chief Little for a joint emergency planning session in Sterling Rod. That evening, I attended both the Kiwanis executive and club meetings. I then made my way to the Festival of Trees, where I was honored to bring greetings from the municipality of Tweed, alongside MP Cramp Nyman and Warden Mullen. Joining me were Deputy Mayor DeMarsh and Councillors Fleeler and Valleycat. On December 5th, Chuck and I made our way to the enchanting outdoor holiday market. Councillor Fleeler joined us as well. The Grinch was in attendance, or should I say, Councillor Valleycat. We are grateful for your commitment to this role, which began as a lark in last year's parade and is now ballooned into a full-time gig this year. You were amazing through the cold, signing books for children and posing for hundreds of photos. On December 6th, I was thrilled to be joined by Deputy Mayor DeMarsh and Councillors Fleeler and Valleycat, the Grinch, as we joyfully marched in our Santa Claus parade, doling out tooth decay. One of us, of course, was preoccupied with handing out onions and stealing Christmas trees. Later, Councillor Fleeler, the Grinch, and I made our way to the Legion, the Lion Club's craft show, and then to Rajat's to see the reindeer. Afterwards, the Grinch and I visited the Curling Club craft sale. That night, Chuck and I attended the musical Panto Hook at the Marble Arts Center. I've also been preparing 6 delegation reports for presentation at this year's Roma conference. This is our last council meeting for 2025. However, our first 2026 budget meeting will take place this Thursday. My response to Mayor Ellis's request for funding to support Hard Hub and a 2-page summary of our infrastructure challenges as requested by MPP Rick Bracey can be found under Mayor information items in today's package. During this holiday season, bring goodwill, joy, and love wherever and to whomever you can. Some of us enjoy all the trimmings of this wonderful time of year. Christmas trees, candy canes, presents galore, eggnog, and scrumptious turkey dinners. And yet, there are those among us who will be alone, forgotten by Santa, and who will greet Christmas Day with hunger. I say this not to detract from the beauty of the season, but to remind us what it's truly about. It's about giving, it's about sharing, it's about caring, because there's no greater gift than knowing you have touched someone's life. Simply by being there or lending a helping hand. I end with a line from one of my most favorite Christmas movies, A Christmas Carol. And for me, it must be Alistair Sim as Scrooge. As Scrooge once said, and slightly modified, let's honor Christmas in our hearts and try to keep it all the year. May that be truly said of us all, and as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. On behalf of council, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Cursed with that DeGenova emotional freaking gene. I'll never forget Mom and Dad. Anyway, moving on. Okay. I've regrouped. Okay. So we have three delegations today, and it is my honor to welcome the first one, which is the Tweed and Erie Arts Council. And Margot, is the chair, is the chair of that committee, and she has some of her colleagues here. So Margot, I'm going to ask you to bring your colleagues up and introduce who they are and walk us through your presentation. Thank you. I know, sorry.
I have here with me today Vicki McCullough, who has been with the Arts Council for I don't know how many years. Since 2018, maybe earlier. And Dr. Chuck Mustard, who is still a doctor, but he's also our treasurer. So they're my backup band today. So I'm going to start with a question. If you have the notes that we sent us with you, don't bother because I'm going to jump around. So it's not going to be in any particular order.
Okay.
But the first question, the question I want to ask, and you don't have to raise hands, is how many have participated in any art form this year? Just think about that for a minute. I'm thinking going to a movie, even reading a book, dancing in your own kitchen. You've gone to a concert, you mentioned plays. That whole weekend was full of arts and culture. So we are very privileged and thrilled to live in a community, in a municipality that values this. There's such a value here, and there is such an immense amount of art in this place. Anyway, on we go. So we've been around since 2006, that's 19 years, and we have been supporting arts in the community and beyond for that time. What we donated this year, which we do every year, is $6,200 to various organizations for their efforts to support the arts with what they're doing. We do this every year, and it's our honor to do that, and we're thrilled with what other folks do, because actually our board is not made up of artists. We recruited one artist onto our board last year, or this year. So good for us. Our board of directors is currently composed of myself as the chair, these two, as I just introduced, Diane Montbleu is our secretary. We have Bonnie Marentet, who has been on the board again for years, and she is the one who runs Art in the Park. She is the driving force behind that. And she's 80 years old. Yeah. Paul Kite, who also owns Quinn's, is on our board as a director, and Linda York is the artist that we pulled in this year. So what we do, we've had one event that we've been in charge of. I'm not asking for money this time, so you can just relax.
Okay.
That's not happening. It's just an update on what we've been doing, because there's been some changes in our mandate. No, that's not true. Not in our mandate, in our activities. Art in the Park, as I mentioned, we've been doing for a number of years. It's been 34 years it's been happening. If you haven't been to it, in Memorial Park, there's 45 artists. I think we can get a few more in this year, and artisans who spend the day selling their wares, greeting people, listening to music, having lunch. It's a wonderful, I don't know how it's happened, but the weather has always participated as well. We've been very, very fortunate. So that's going to happen again, but that's been the singular big event that we've had. Now we have 4 big events happening that we're in charge of and happy to host, and looking for volunteers to help out with any of them. So we started a year and a half ago doing something called In Conversation with Artists, where Paul Kite and I, and again, looking for volunteers to help out, visit artists in their home, in their studio. Sometimes they don't want that, so we host them at Quinn's to have a conversation on video. What we then do is post it to our YouTube site so anyone can see it. Vicky is in charge of our communication. She puts out posters, social media to let folks know that it's there. And then we hang their art at Quinn's, which unfortunately is closing permanently at the end of this month. Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. So that's happening. Also at the library, they've gladly allowed us to hang art on their walls, and at the Marble Arts Center, which is like a beautiful art gallery. You can go up there almost any time and see the art on the walls. It's stunning. And these are local artists. So that's been really fun to do. This year also, we took on the ruckus. I do want to see a show of hands. Did people show up for the ruckus this year? Did you just wander around a bit? It was fantastic. It was so good. So it was a small team that were able to pull off a great event. Vicky came up with the idea of doing a survey for the hosts, the porch hosts, for the musicians, and for folks who attended, to try to get some feedback to say, what else could we do? And the response was overwhelmingly positive. But thank you for the ones always who say there's a few things that you could do a little differently, a little better. So we're working on that for this year. And then this past summer, we were approached by the folks from the Tweeden Area Studio Tour asking if we could please take that on. And we thought about it. And we said, if one of your people will join us on the board and help with the steering committee, and that was Linda York, and she agreed. Linda hates meetings. She just hates them. I've tried to get her on the board before, but because of this involvement now with the studio tour, she agreed. So we've had our first couple of meetings, and this is a soft announcement. There will be an announcement to the rest of the community to say that this is happening. The easy yes for us was that the two organizations are completely aligned in their mission, vision, and values. So when we looked at theirs and ours and put them together, it's like, why weren't we doing this before? But now we are, and we're really looking forward to this. It's been running for 27 years, by the way, and attracts people come from Toronto. They come from Kingston. I don't know if people come from Ottawa, maybe. But it's a broad reach, and we're looking to expand it this year. Finally, I want to leave you with this. Well, one other thought. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, we started something loosely called, it was a loose affiliation of any organizations who are involved in the arts in putting on artistic events here. And we called it the Tweed Arts Alliance, which we did some meetings and it dwindled and dwindled. So now it's online. We just put out word to everyone and ask for their input into creating a calendar of all the arts and culture events that are happening in Tweed and surrounding area. 110 events in 2025. That is remarkable. When I've talked to other people from small towns, even Madoc, they're like, what? How do we get that? I don't know, but you're welcome. Sorry. You're welcome to come over anytime and participate in anything we have going here. So I just want to say, if you don't think that you love the arts, think a little more broadly. It's in our home. It's all around us. You don't have to be an artist or donate money to arts to participate, to enjoy the arts. And finally, this final quote that I just loved is, art can't save us from anything. It's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery, but we need it as a reminder of something better, of a world that is the antithesis of what we inhale with the news. And I think we really need that these days. We need something that evokes emotion, maybe even tears, joy. So I would encourage you to actually first, no, I want to thank you for your continued ongoing support, because I found this council to be very supportive of the arts in this community and beyond. And come on out. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you very much. I just wanted to make a couple of comments before we move on to the next. Well, firstly, greatly appreciate all that the Tweed Area Arts Council does for the municipality of Tweed and for neighboring communities as well. You're an all-inclusive, which is wonderful. I had the privilege and honor of serving with the Tweed Area Arts Council for a number of years, and I recognize the hard work that you put into this. You're a committed group. I mean, what people do without financial reward, other than reward for the soul, we are grateful for. And since you have taken over the helm, I must admit, the profile that you have given it, and I know you have a team behind you, but even in regards to the speech that you just delivered now, is wonderful to see. And I want to thank you for your commitment and the commitment of your team and bringing and keeping the arts alive in this community. And if anybody has had a chance or hasn't had a chance, please tap into the video vignettes of the various artists. It's wonderful to see them talk about their life stories and where they started and where they are today. And some of them have gone, oh my gosh. Audrey Ross.
Yeah.
So it's a nice testament to seeing an historical perspective on someone who has lived right around the corner from here and has been a large part of our community for many, many years. Anyway, thank you very much. We really appreciate for everything that you guys do. Thank you. And you've got your weekend guaranteed every year now, right? For that, yeah, no, I think it is. That's your weekend. Yeah, there, Cindy's shaking her head. That's yours. There you go. There you go. There you go.
I do want to say one final thing. We created a new website, 3 years ago. And if you're looking for what's happening in arts and culture in Tweed, it's all there. Under events, there are so many things there with full description, where to get tickets, all that sort of thing. So,
Margaret, you didn't bring a copy either of, did you, of your news, the thing that Vicky does that updates everything all the time?
Yeah, it's in your notes on the second page. The monthly calendar.
Oh, it's there in
Yeah,
the
the
little
monthly
corner.
calendar
Okay, there
of
it
events.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, Coop. Yes, Merry Christmas. Okay, now I'd like to call up Laurie Howett. Laurie, if you'd like to come up to the, Laurie, as everybody knows, we've had a wonderful relationship with what used to be OMAFRA and is now Rural Affairs. Is that what your new name is now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was with Karen Fisher. Okay, well, Laurie, I've met a couple of times now at a number of conferences, and she is now going to be our new representative under the Ministry of Rural Affairs. And so I asked Laurie to come and so we could all get to meet who she is, so the community could get to meet who she is, because we have relied extensively on the help from OMAFRA now with you, and helping us and guiding us on many different things that we've done in our municipality over a number of years. So welcome, Laurie, and please walk us through who you are and what you're going to be able to hopefully help us with.
Okay, well, thank you. And first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to come and speak to your council. I really appreciate the warm welcome and the opportunity to do that. I know I have big shoes to fill, or tiny shoes, because Karen's feet were so small, but I will definitely endeavor to do that. So I do have a bit of a slide presentation. I'll go through it quickly because I know time is of essence. So again, my name is Laurie Howett. I'm the new economic development or economic and business advisor for the Ministry of Rural Affairs. I have a sort of a rooted history in rural Ontario. I spent 15 years as a community reporter, kind of covering small communities within Eastern Ontario, and then transitioned to a small business owner in Brighton for a short time, and then into economic development at the municipal sector with Municipality of Brighton doing their downtown revitalization project. So actually very familiar with the programs that we offer through the ministry. And then spent about 9 years with the City of Quinte West doing grant writing and community engagement. So certainly look at my work through that municipal lens and how I can support communities. And then worked in the post-secondary sector with Loyalist College before coming into this role in July. I've spent the past few months going out and meeting with communities and learning what their challenges are, learning where they're at, learning what their hopes and dreams are. And what I've learned is that there's still maybe a little bit of a lack of information in terms of what the Ministry of Rural Affairs is, because we have had some changes. So I'll just start there, that a bit of an overview. So in 2024, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Agribusiness, and Rural Affairs was dissolved, and then two new ministries were created. So the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Agribusiness, and the Ministry of Rural Affairs. Lisa Thompson, who's the MPP for Huron-Bruce, was named the Minister of Rural Affairs. And our ministry's role is really supporting local government and organizations in undertaking economic development activities through a suite of programs and initiatives. These are designed specifically for rural communities. We use a train the trainer model with our programs to help communities identify strategies and tools which can be implemented locally. Our work is guided by the new Rural Ontario Economic Development Strategy, which focuses on 3 pillars: so safe and strong rural communities, business development and attraction, and growing the rural workforce. So that strategy can be found at ontario.ca/MRA if you're interested. And just a bit of an overview on some of the programs and initiatives. I know that Tweed's taken part in many of these programs, so a lot of them will look very familiar to you. I'll just highlight maybe a couple key ones that we tend to get a lot of uptake from municipalities on. The first being the business retention and expansion. So this is a systematic survey-based approach to gathering information from local businesses to assist communities in better understanding the needs of local business. The First Impressions Community Exchange. So this provides an opportunity of communities to gain a fresh perspective of how they are seen through the eyes of first-time visitors. So volunteers are partnered from exchange communities to conduct unannounced kind of secret shopper type visits. And then they record their observations and present to each other. We just completed one actually between Cobourg and Brockville. So it was a great opportunity for both of those communities who are on the cusp of kind of refreshing economic development strategies to get some ideas in terms of things that they could implement. There's also the downtown revitalization. So this is based on the US Main Street 4-point approach that includes economic development, leadership and management, marketing and promotion, physical improvements, and includes a manual, templates, worksheets, and we help guide through that process. We also have strategic planning. This is very focused on nonprofits. So think nonprofits in your community. We have a session that starts in February. So I'm happy to be connected to nonprofits in your community to talk more about that. There's also Community Economic Development 101. So this is a workshop for new council members and volunteers. It helps them kind of understand the full spectrum of economic development and how they can best make use of limited resources. This is great as we're going into soon another election. So good to think about for offering to your community in the future. Next slide, please.
The strategic planning for not-for-profit coming up is when?
It starts in February. It's offered over a period of 4 sessions, but they're very spread out. So I'm happy to provide more information, and actually your economic development team should have additional details.
Great. Okay.
Okay.
Because I'd like to reach out to all of the not-for-profits. We have many.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
I think probably the most important one that we have in terms of program is our funding program, and this is the Rural Ontario Development Program. So this provides funding for small scale economic development projects in rural Ontario. We have a funding envelope of $10 million for both 2025-26 and then 26-27. We've just closed our first intake in October, about to open another one in January 19th. We're expecting that the applicants from the first round will likely know about their applications mid-January, likely around the time that Roma takes place. Municipalities can apply for funding under the community development stream for eligible projects. There's also new, the business development stream. So these are for eligible small rural businesses. And then the ROD program supports objectives that are in the strategy, the rural strategy. Okay. And so there are 8 outcomes that we look at from this program. We like to see a project that aligns with at least one of them, although those that align with 3 are usually scored higher. So increased capacity and effectiveness for rural economic development, jobs attracted and retained, workforce development challenges addressed, transformed or modernized community assets that drive economic growth, regional partnerships that strengthen local economies and resiliencies, economic barriers addressed in rural Ontario, including Indigenous communities, businesses attracted, retained, and expanded, and investment attracted and retained. We can just maybe skip this. This is just what we consider rural Ontario, not really an issue for Tweed. We know that you kind of fall within there. There's multiple streams within community development. There's economic diversification, competitiveness, and capacity building, and then workforce development, attraction and retention, and community infrastructure and enhancement. Lots of substreams within that, as you can see. It is a cost share program, so it ranges from 35% to 50% that the province offers, and then the funds raised range from 50,000 to 250,000, depending on the stream that you choose for your project.
Laura, if I just may,
Yeah,
one of the things that I will always be befuddled by is like when you're at ROMA, which is the Rural Ontario Municipal Association conference focusing on rural communities. And then Premier Ford will get up, and when he does his address, which he does every year, he will talk about all the investments they've made in rural Ontario. And then he'll cite Kitchener-Waterloo and Ottawa and Kingston and Belleville. And from my concept, that they have rural hinterlands, but they are not rural communities. We are a rural community. Anybody 10,000 or less, I would think, would be considered more rural. But always, I'm befuddled by the fact that we talk about all these great investments, but we don't mention any of the little communities that are actually rural. I don't expect you to answer
it's
that.
Great
But
feedback.
it's just like, something that's always taken me aback whenever I attend that. And I think we've all experienced that. Okay, anyway.
No,
sorry.
that's great feedback, and I appreciate that. And it kind of goes back to the slide that I skipped. It's like we consider rural anything under 100,000 for population. So, but I recognize what you're saying, that yeah, the smaller communities are probably where you see the greatest impact, where funding goes. So I'll take that feedback with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and so again, my role is an advisor. So advisors provide expertise and advisory services, communities and organizations across rural Ontario. We provide coaching on MRA programs, including the ROD program. So we'll work closely with you to make sure your application kind of checks all the boxes. We do review drafts before they go in for submission. So please make use of that service. We also help with resources and funding based on the needs of specific communities. I'm based out of the Brighton office, so my region includes Northumberland, Hastings, Prince Edward County, Lennox and Addington, Frontenac, up to Renfrew, so big region, but I live in Brighton, so I'm oftentimes kind of within this area and hope to be very, very accessible to all of you, because I know that's what you're used to, and I'm happy to offer that. So please know that. And besides that, I will leave some time for questions if you have any, and comments, and just, want to let you know that I'm here to support your community, and I look forward to doing that. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Laurie. And I must admit, you have the same presence as Karen. So that is wonderful, and we're grateful for that. And we do look forward to working with you. We've talked about your new role, like I mentioned before, at other times, and I think you're going to be great for this community. You're going to be great for rural affairs. And does anybody have any questions? Yeah, please go ahead.
Hey, Laurie, just I'm looking at your funding stream. Has that increased from previous years?
It's doubled, yeah. So it used to be the RED program, now the ROD program. But so the RED program was half the funding that has been put into it now. So it's a testament to, I think, the province's understanding that rural communities are important to Ontario and need to have those projects put forward. Yeah.
Also, is there an opportunity for us to lobby through you as a representative of rural Ontario through to the minister, Lisa Thompson, to express that there are other issues that facing rural communities other than just economic development, and it's the whole concept of infrastructure. And often when you don't have the funding to support infrastructure, you can't encourage economic development because the infrastructure is not there to support them. And we struggle in this community, for example, with infrastructure, with 57 bridges and 800 lane kilometers of road. It's very difficult for us to secure any funding from the government. Can we use you to carry a message through to her that she can carry through to her counterparts, saying there's more to rural affairs than just economic development and job protection, but we got to make sure that farmers can cross a bridge to get from one field to a next to get to their field, that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. So Minister Thompson is definitely a champion for rural Ontario. If you've ever seen her speak, and my role as an advisor is to really kind of collect that intel within communities and feed that intel up to her. So my suggestion to you is, like, whenever there are discussions in your community about those challenges, make sure I'm also at the table. And I'm happy to make sure that I'm passing that along.
Okay, MPP Rick Bressie had just reached out to me via text a week or so ago, asking me, what are our infrastructure challenges and what applications did we apply for in 2023, 24, and 25 that were
Mhm.
denied, which I listed them and they were all denied. He wants to carry forward that message. I'm going to forward that to you as well. Okay.
Thank you very much.
It's
I
been my
appreciate that.
report today, but I will make sure that you get a copy of that, and perhaps you can take it through to Minister Thompson as well. Two voices fighting for the same thing would be very much to our benefit. But thank you very much. I'm glad to know that I can use you as that resource as well. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate
Good
your
luck to
time.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get logged out, Lucas. I just did shut down. That's all. Okay, you won't tune up. Okay, now we'd welcome our third, which is Thomas McMillan, who is attending the meeting to present regarding his proposed MZO application. And I'm only going to mention to you, Thomas, because when I looked at your slide deck, there was a heck of a lot of information in there.
Yep.
And we only give 10 minutes or a little over for each presentation. So I don't want you to feel that I'm being rude if I
Not at
mention
all.
to you.
Cut me off if you need to. I've also brought some handouts of what I've sent in already, if you want to follow along.
Okay, well, thank you very much. So please, the floor is yours and you can walk us through your presentation.
Okay, so good morning, Your Worship, Deputy Mayor Demarche, members of council and staff. My name is Thomas McMillan and I'm the owner of 143 Clear Lane. When I first purchased my lot, my expectations were simple. A summer retreat, bring my trailer up in the spring, launch my canoe in the beautiful Moira River, and fish in Stokoe Lake. Thanks to the genuine kindness and tremendous hospitality of the residents on Clear Lane, that vision was made a reality. Following the events of 2022, the community really came together, and this council should be very proud of the remarkable cooperation and spirit displayed there. With that said, on Clear Lane, we all bought into a residentially zoned street within an old unfinished subdivision. We knew that construction and the opportunity for growth were distinct possibilities. My goal today is simply to ensure that that possibility is unlocked in a safe and responsible way. I want to be clear, I'm not here to circumvent the town's planning process. You know Tweed, you know what reports are needed and which ones are redundant. Rather, my own research pinpointed a primary roadblock, a 1970s outdated, overly broad flood designation. This designation is causing the planning deadlock on the original Clear Lane subdivision. The roadblock led me directly to the specific singular provincial tool designed explicitly to cut through this land use red tape and unlock responsible housing opportunities, especially on already serviced lots like the ones today. And right now, this tool is being offered to this council because you know your communities best. I am here tonight to present a proposal designed to de-risk this area, unlock significant community value, and most importantly, do so at no cost to the Tweed taxpayer. To begin, I want to be clear about what tool we're discussing. A ministerial zoning order, or MZO, is a provincial regulation that establishes zoning permissions. While often associated with large provincial projects, it is also the specific tool designed to resolve historic planning deadlocks on already serviced land, exactly the situation we have on Clear Lane. It is this mechanism that allows us to move forward where standard processes have stalled. This is why I'm here tonight. The Minister of Housing has made it clear the province will not act without local support. A formal resolution from this council is the mandatory green light. It signals to the province that Tweed is a willing partner in solving housing challenges and that you have done your due diligence to ensure the proposal aligns with local interests. Across Ontario, municipalities are using MZOs to cut red tape. By passing this motion, Tweed joins a group of proactive communities using every available tool to meet housing needs. It demonstrates that we are open for business and ready to facilitate responsible growth. The steps for a conditional MZO. I want to be very specific about the process. We're currently at step 3. Tonight's vote does not approve construction. It does not put a shovel in the ground tomorrow. It simply approves the request to the minister. Critically, this request is conditional, meaning your support is contingent on a specific safety and financial agreements being signed later. Steps for condition. Once the minister issues the order, the zoning does change, but protection remains. The MZO itself will contain conditions that prevent any building permits from being issued until the municipality is satisfied. This lock ensures you retain control. The mechanism. How do you enforce control? Through 3 layers of protection. Through a site plan control, you retain full engineering review of the drainage and grading. Through the holding symbol, this is your ultimate safety switch. It legally forbids a building permit until you vote to remove it and the council's final vote. Construction cannot begin until this council is satisfied that every condition has been met. Retained authority. I want to address one key concern, the Conservation Authority. The MZO does not strip Quinte Conservation of their power. They still issue permits. They still mandate flood-proofing conditions. We are not bypassing safety. We are simply changing the zoning to allow us to prove safety to the CA's satisfaction. Benefits to the community. Why do this? Because the benefits are immediate and tangible. The tax base increases. We convert unbuildable land into high-value residential assessment. Fairness. We restore property rights to residents who have been in limbo for decades. And revenue. We generate new permit fees and development charges that can go directly to infrastructure maintenance like our roads and bridges. I'm expecting about a modest 10 homes. We can expect 170,000 in development fees and about a 50,000 increase in annual tax base. Some residents on Clear Lane have held multiple lots, which could amount to much higher evaluations once they build their homes. Conditional MZO. It summarizes your power. You set the terms, whether it's certified engineering reports or final agreements, you have the authority to demand them as a condition of lifting the holding symbol. A partnership built on trust. I'm asking for a partnership. I recognize your authority and I'm committed to meeting every single safety condition you set. We're not looking for a shortcut. We're looking for a path to compliance. Okay, scope of the MZO. Okay. The solution is systematic. It addresses the entire subdivision plan of HSR 198. It fixes the problem once for everyone, rather than forcing the council to deal with 20 separate applications over the next decade. It's a one-time regulatory cleanup. Mechanism of risk transfer. This is the most important slide for the taxpayers. You pay nothing. The developer will pay for everything. You risk nothing. An engineering stamp transfers liability from the design to the engineer. The indemnity agreement will transfer all legal liability to the owners, and you enforce everything. The building official does not issue a permit until a safety standard is proven. The tools for enforcement. In short, the MZO is a tool for enforcement, not deregulation. It allows you to mandate higher safety standards like the minimum finished floor elevation than currently exist on older homes on the street. The maps. As you can see from the survey and aerial views, this is an existing defined neighborhood with infrastructure already in place. I have made a few recommendations. I'm recommending a cost recovery model, and I am prepared to front some initial costs, but I ask the council mandate a fairness clause. That all future developers, ideally on just the vacant lots that benefit from the work, they pay their share back when they do go to build. This protects my investments and ensures equality whilst protecting current year-round residents. I want to limit any impact on year-round residents as much as possible. By imposing these conditions, you maintain immunity from liability while ensuring the private road infrastructure remains self-sufficient. Councillors, before I conclude, what we are asking for today is not a favor, but a logical and fiscally responsible step forward. By passing this resolution to request a conditional MZO, you are utilizing the special tools the province offers to solve historic planning problems and unlock housing supply. This action will immediately rectify a decades-old injustice for my neighbors and myself, restoring frozen property rights and demonstrating efficient, proactive governments. This is a decision that presents nothing but gain for the township with zero risk. You fully transfer the construction liability and costs to the private property owner, you secure an immediate and lasting increase to your municipal tax base, and you responsibly unlock supply on existing service lots. We urge you to partner with me, a resident committed to responsible development, by passing this motion and clearing the way for community fairness and a stronger municipal balance sheet. This is about restoring the promise made to families 55 years ago. I just want to show you another slide. This photo will show the reality. Well-maintained homes exist here safely year-round. Regarding the 2022 flood, we know a resident was evacuated on that street. Since that event, our community has proactively come together to fix and elevate our roads, ensuring safety and manageable access for all residents and service vehicles. That event is exactly why we need this MZO, to mandate that all new homes are built to a higher and safer standard than the old homes, preventing that risk in the future. We want to underscore the commitment of existing residents. Since that 2022 event, our private road has been proactively brought up to code by the Clear Lane residents themselves. 8 current seasonal and full-time owners have come together to responsibly manage a maintenance fund. This highly organized effort is a result of dedicated stewardship and informed leadership from within the community. This proves we are a self-sufficient community that is already proactively managing our infrastructure and just asking to be partners in municipal safety. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the Tweed volunteer firefighters whose professionalism during that event was exemplary. Our goal is to build homes that are safe for them to access. This brings me to the ask. There is a draft resolution before you. It contains every protection we've discussed: indemnity agreements, site plan requirements, engineering certification, and the holding symbol. It is a complete, safe, and responsible package. I received yesterday a response from Rick Bursay's office, which is important to this discussion. The MPP's office confirmed that the current situation is exactly as I described. Currently, regional conservation authorities have broad powers. If they refuse a permit, both the landowner and municipalities have very limited avenues of appeal. This is the key to planning. This is the key to the planning deadlock. They've confirmed that the province is working on a long-term legislative changes, but those changes are currently mid-process, and they said it'll take decades to actually get done. Council, we cannot afford to wait years for the new legislation to be enacted. The MZO, with its holding symbol and conditional release, is the immediate surgical tool that achieves the provincial government's desired outcomes today. Unlocking housing while mandating safety before the new legislation arrives. The MPP's office directed me to continue to work with the municipality of Tweed, and that is precisely what I am doing here today. Thank you for your time, and I respectfully ask for your support in passing the motion to unlock value, restore rights, protect the township. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, thank you very much, Thomas. I must admit, you were very thorough in providing us with the information that we had in advance of this. Ministerial zoning order is something which is new to us here. We have not used it before, so it will require some contemplation.
Yep.
Typically, when a delegation like yours comes forward, what we do is we don't commit at this time. We turn it back to our team, and they will start looking into it and then come back to us with their recommendations, and we will have a discussion on such. So at this time, I don't have any questions other than thanking you for how thorough your presentation has been, and for the supporting materials that you've given us now as well. And we'll get back to you on this. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I only hope that you read it. And
Oh, we will. Oh, I've been reading it. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now let's move on to departmental reports. Okay, can I have a mover and a seconder? Oh, I just got kicked out to table the CIO's update, please.
Here, Jacob. Over to you, Rob.
Thank you. Good morning, and through the chair. So just a couple updates. The municipality has received notice. This mic's working really good today. A notice from Hastings County regarding a shared service agreement pertaining to IT support. So these were discussions, and I believe a report was brought forward to the council earlier in the year. So we have now received information that the cost for such a service, if we enter into it, would be approximately $20,500. The municipality currently pays between 16 and 19 annually. This moving to Hastings County would result in enhanced service levels and improved service times. So once we get further information from Hastings County, staff will come forward with a report to seek council approval. So that's one item.
If I may, but being a Hastings County councilor, I've had access to their IT whenever I've had an issue. The response is immediate, no matter when, on the weekend or whatever. They have been absolutely amazing. And Larry Dean, he and his team, they're so proficient, and they're well, they came in and did that cybersecurity presentation to us as well. Like they'd be on top of all of that stuff. And then I think Larry is also coming next week or Monday to come in and do an audit of our equipment and everything to make sure that, like, you know, that we've got what we're going to need to make sure that we keep the records of this municipality safe and that our staff are operating with the most up-to-date information and equipment that they have. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Larry and hearing when we look at further at this. I think we're grateful for the service we've had in the past, but the individual that is providing that service now has a full-time job and they cannot commit to immediate response when we like it. So we do have to look at alternatives. So this is one that I'm hoping that will come to fruition during our budget discussions. Thank you. Next thing on your list is that, sorry.
And just a few other quick notes. I just wanted to say thank you to Cindy Chow and her team, Brittany and Jay, for the decorations around the town. The lighting looks amazing. The planters and the baskets look awesome. So it just adds to the festive spirit of the town. And also, again, thank you for an amazing job on the Santa Claus Parade this year. And one other note, I just wanted to thank the Grinch for coming to Tweed to visit with the residents and hand out onions and books and stuff. So I have not. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Grinch.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, please go ahead.
Mayor, the IT proposal, that's something that we've talked about for quite a long time, even with your predecessor. At the times, it was a significant price difference to go from where we were to Hastings County, but now the gap has closed significantly. And I gotta say, she always raved about the level of service as well, but it was just financially too far apart for us. But I think now it's close enough that I think it's, you know, it's worth $800 at this point to proceed, and I think the benefits are there for to justify it.
One of the interesting things is the county is starting to move more out into providing services across all member municipalities. As we know, we've just done that with planning. And Lucas is our key contact and working with planning now, like, you know, and centralizing services in that way. IT is the next move. And I think a lot of municipalities, we're going to be one of the lucky ones because we've been in the queue. We said we were interested. So when you start offering, and so we will be one of the first, if we agree to this, to be brought on. Others will be coming on over the next couple of years as they gear up and whatnot. So thank you very much for that comment. And we look forward to hearing more from Larry and at our budget meeting and you as well, CO Diskey. Okay, be it resolved that council accept the Public Works Department update as, oh no, sorry. I wonder why there's no mover and a seconder. Okay, be it resolved that council accept, I'm not going to move back to it, the CAO update as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the Public Works Department update, please? Thank you, Councilor Valleycat. Thank you, Councilor Palmetier. Over to you, Ryan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just some updates here for our department. Kind of an overview of where we're at for snow plowing this winter. We've also implemented some new stairs at the waste site for residents with some mobility issues. Now residents can step up onto these platforms and essentially have an easier time unloading the recycled material. The Queensboro Bridge, we've completed tree removal on our end at the east and west side of the bridges. So this should accommodate any kind of pole relocation that needs to take place for Hydro One. Still waiting to see a plan from them. I've reached out a couple times now. We will be getting our 2 additional bridges delivered next Tuesday to our municipal yard. So they'll be in our possession, I believe the 16th. We've also had some correspondence with Enbridge as well. I wasn't able to get it on this meeting, but Enbridge is going to be stopping any construction come December 17th, and they'll be returning in May 2026 to resume again. They have a good portion of the south end done, so they have 920 meters installed of this gas line with an additional 200 meters remaining. And then once that's completed, they'll continue working up to the north end. I have a timeline I can provide as well, and we can get that out to the residents to let them know.
Yes, go ahead, Councillor Valiquette.
Through the mayor to the department head, I'm just curious, and I don't mean to catch you off guard. I'm just kind of curious what the plan is for snow removal, like on the main street. Our the contractor before used to had a large snow blower that, and they removed it. I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Valiquette, they'll still be doing that this year. We've talked with Palmatiers, and they still have the blower available if we need it.
Thank you.
Yes, Councillor Fleeler.
Worship, I'm quite concerned about the Queensboro Bridge and like, we seem to be at the same spot right now, but like what's the issue with the hydro? Like, have we got everything in place to move forward? Because we're second week of December right now. We need to get this done.
Through the chair to Councillor Fleeler, yeah, I understand that we have everything we can do on the municipal end. We're just waiting from the design from Hydro to come through. Once that's through, we basically give them the okay, let's get moving, and then we're ready to go. The bridge builder and installer are ready to move when this is done. So we've just been following up to kind of see where they're at. These designs do take a little bit of time, but it's getting late in the year.
So, like, I don't know what else to say. Like, we need to get this done. So, I mean, do they understand the importance of this endeavor?
Through the chair, yes, they do. Yeah, I've been quite vocal about it. They do understand where we're at with this. I want to say they're doing their best, but I can't speak on their behalf.
I'm going to also, CEO Diski, is there any possibility that perhaps you can reach out in partnership with Ryan on this, highlighting the importance of this bridge when you talk about no ambulances, no fire trucks and school buses during this another crucial period in the winter?
Yes, through the chair, we can try to leverage the role. Just for clarity, they can't put the bridge in where the hydro lines are now.
Yeah.
They're just, the cranes can't operate safely where the lines are. So we've been working on this for months, trying to get this done. But we will reach out and try to emphasize the urgency of the project.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Valiquette.
Into the department head, does there come a point in time when it's not,
You can't do it.
that doesn't make sense to do it during this season and wait till the fall?
Through the chair, good question. I've asked our bridge installers that as well. They can put these things in basically any time of year. Yep.
Okay. Be it resolved that council accept the public works update as presented. All in favor? I keep getting kicked out again, Lucas. I just logged off. I logged right out, shut the system down and back. So it's happening here. Yeah. So I'm gonna need your, or else I can be with Jim.
You want to be okay?
Yep. Okay. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the request to surplus 2 tandem snowplow trucks? Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmatier. Thanks, Jim. Okay, over to you, Ryan. This is so stupid.
Through the chair, just requesting to get these two tandem snowplow trucks kind of out of our yard and get them on an online auction. I don't expect a lot of revenue from the one that had the major repairs needed. It does need turbos, manifolds. It's basically scrap weight at this point. We'll try the auction site and see what we can get. If it's not what we want, then we'll send it for scrap. The other truck, we may get a little bit more on it. I'm hoping to get a reserve of 4,000 to 5,000 on it. It runs, but due to the frame separation, it wasn't able to pass safety this year. So we're gonna try our hand at the online auction, and if there's no success there, we'll probably send them for scrap. At least the one anyway.
Yes, Councillor Palmetier.
Through your worship, just curious if we'll be watching that online auction for anything that we may need for snow removal. I don't know what we have.
We won't be looking. We don't have any budget for that.
Yes, Councillor Wheeler.
Through your worship to the manager of Public Works, we seem to find ourselves in the same situation. All these upgrades on these vehicles seem to be the downfall of the vehicle itself. Is there any push from the municipalities to try to, go back to pretty much base condition to get a truck that we can rely on without, when you get the turbos and all this other stuff, and it's costly, and then we end up in a situation where we can't afford to even, repair the units. I don't know what we can do, like all this stuff, you buy new equipment, I think the local farmers around are finding the same issues with upgrades on different pieces of equipment. It costs a lot of money. When they need it, it's not dependable. I don't know what else we can do, but.
Yeah, no, as you mentioned, it's a common concern amongst a number of
Well, it is.
yeah, and it's unfortunate that's the way things are made today. And they're not made to last.
No.
Okay, yes, Councillor, Deputy Mayor Demarche.
Mr. Mayor, I think though, going kind of building on what Councillor Wheeler has said, and the other thing we see all the time is death repairs all the time. And I think the farmers are seeing the same thing. The other question I had is I think we have some more equipment coming. Do we know when that is coming to kind of plug this hole of these two trucks?
Through the chair to the deputy mayor, we do have one on order right now. Actually, Rick from Gincor said I hate to give you dates because with these builders, they just push it and push it and push it. So initially it was, 1st of December, middle of December. He's given me another date of January 16th. We should see our other tandem come in, but it's hearsay at this point.
Okay, be it resolved, the council received the request to surplus 2 tandem snowplow trucks report as presented, and further that council declare the 2 international tandem snowplow trucks TC01 and TC02 as surplus, and further that staff be authorized to dispose of these vehicles through online auction. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the fire chief department update as of December 9th, 2025? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche, and thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Over to you, Eric.
Thank you. Morning, Mayor and Council. Just a couple little updates here. One good thing that we did have in the fire department, we did our annual grant we applied for the Royal Canadian Legion branches, Ladies Auxiliary and Auxiliary Charitable Foundations. Been very good to the fire department over the years to buying medical equipment. Again, this year they've come through for us again, and we are getting some new medical equipment, new power suction for doing the amount of medical calls that we do a fair amount of in the department. And the other thing was upgraded our basket for our ATV. Right now we have a 7-foot basket that hangs off the back that we have to load on the trailer, load on the truck every time we go to get going. Now we'll be able to have a fold-up one that's on the trailer, mounted all the time, ready to go for quick deployment, which will be absolutely fantastic. And just want to give our hats off to them. They've been absolutely supportive of the fire department over the years, and
Derek, could you
Thank
put together just a little brief summary of what you just said, okay,
Yep.
in a letter, and then
Yep.
I will tweak it and everything and
Yep.
send it from council as a
Yes.
thank you to them. for
yeah,
their
no, it's
support.
like I said, they've been
Okay.
absolutely supportive in our medical supplies and stuff, and it's something that we need and something that we, things that we just can't afford right now to punch out. So it's been very, very helpful for the budgets and stuff that for the stuff that we
Okay.
just couldn't have right now, and we greatly appreciate their support. So yeah, and as I said, and we are working on other grants and stuff. We do try to do some stuff for accessibility and that type of thing, but we're pushing out and looking for everything we can get our hands on to help support the department. But besides that, we've had a very busy year. Great staff. They're busy. Like I said, it's been our record year for us for calls. A lot from everything.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of our staff. I just want to say that we have an amazing group of firefighters, and our community should be very proud to have that team working for them. So we appreciate them. So
Well, we're grateful for the team that you've
Yeah.
created. I mean, that you've built, I should
Yeah.
say. And I mean, we appreciate their commitment to this community, no matter what the crisis, they're always there. And we appreciate your guidance and direction and leadership. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay, be it resolved that council receive the fire department update as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the bylaw enforcement officer update, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Are there any questions on that particular bylaw? I'll put update. Okay, fine, thank you. Just gotta go down here. I'm just looking for the resolution. Be it resolved that council receive the low. Oh, is there two things there, Lori? Okay. Be it resolved that council receive the low balance of user fees explanation as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a move and a second for the animal control officer update as of November 25th, animal control and livestock investigation report? Move in a second, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lamarche, and thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said report? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the November 2025 animal control and livestock investigation report as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Committee board reports. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the committee and board reports? I can see, yes, thank you, Councillor Fleeler, and thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Okay, we're going to move all in favor of the reports. Receiving the reports, thank you. Now, this is so strange for me to look at it in this capacity here because I'm going to go over here for right now because I did something I just logged myself out. Okay, okay, thank you very much. Could I have a mover to Could I have a mover to seconder to table the severance application B39/25 Massey and Allure? Move in a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said severance? Seeing none, be it resolved that council grant. Sorry, no, it's okay. I guess just count. Oh my gosh, Be it resolved that council grant consent for severance application B3925 with the following conditions. All realty taxes are paid in full. Parkland fee is paid in the amount of $750 for the lot. Road widening is required along the severed lot to conform to 33 feet from the center line of the traveled roadway, Allure Road, and Public Works Manager is satisfied with safe site entrance on the severed lot and with road side ditching and drainage. And 5, rezoning of the severed parcel from rural to rural residential. All in favor? Okay. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table zoning amendment, public meeting ZA 18/25, please move in a seconder. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Lamarche. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on that particular zoning amendment? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the zoning amendment public meeting report as presented, and further that council direct staff to bring forward a bylaw for zoning amendment ZA 18/25 at the next regular council meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the planning department year-end activity policy and governance report? Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. First of all, I just want to mention, Lucas, amazing report, very well done. And very concise, and it is amazing how much you've been able to do, you and your team within the office. Working on everything else that you're required to do, you and your team in the office. So very grateful for that. Are there any questions on that very detailed report? Yes, please go ahead.
No further question, just building on what you just said about Lucas and his team, but it's always nice to know that we've been aggressive and ahead of the curve on new housing, and it's good to see that it seems to be paying off for dividends and building permits. So that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Fleeler.
Yeah, your worship, thank you. I just had a concern about the ARUs. I would hope that they would never be allowed to be used as Airbnbs. Like you put the unit there and then something happens and then it's vacant, and I would just hope that would never, ever take place, but I don't know how you can stop that.
Yeah, through the mayor to all of council, we do have a bit of a gap there on short-term accommodations in terms of our zoning bylaw. We've had this discussion previously. We've had a discussion at planning committee, I believe twice. I believe both before this term of council. I think we've also had the discussion at council, I believe, during this term. It probably is something that needs to be tightened up, something that we can look at in 2026. The short answer now is that they're not permitted, but certainly the policy and the way we have it laid out isn't explicitly clear on that. So we could do a better job of defining those things.
I've reached out to earlier to the CIO that I would like us to review have a policy on how we deal with these Airbnbs and whatnot. Like, moving from residential to commercial taxation, for example, because it's a commercial venture, like different things like that. And then zoning, like, requirements, restrictions, noise restrictions, making sure that people abide with our bylaws. But we've had a lot on our plate, but hopefully it's something that we can gradually work on over the year coming, but because right now we've been preoccupied with many other things. But thank you very much for that direction. And thank you very much for that question. Any other questions? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the year-end planning department report for information. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the Building Inspection Services Board, BISB, November 2025 Building Permits Report, Statement of Revenue Expenditures? Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Any questions on said report? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the November 2025 Building Inspection Service Report as presented. All in favor? Is there something? Okay. Okay. Could I have a mover and a second to table bylaw number 2025-103, a bylaw to amend bylaw number 2025-85, adopting the revised human resources policy for the municipality of Tweed? Okay, I'm moving a second, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said bylaw? Be it resolved, seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-103, amending bylaw number 2025-85, which adopted the revised human resources policy for the municipality of Tweed, be ready first, second, and third and final time passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 9th day of December 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Excuse me. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2025-104, a bylaw to amend section 4 of bylaw number 2023-13, being a bylaw to govern the calling, place, and proceedings of meetings of the Council of the Corporation of Municipality of Tweed? Could I have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette, and thanks, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Any questions on said bylaw? Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-104, amending section 4 of bylaw number 2023-13, which is a bylaw to govern the calling, place, and proceedings of meetings of the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Tweed, be ready first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 9th day of December 2025. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the renewal of motion report? Okay, okay, I'm gonna read. I want to read what we have. Okay, the clerk verbally reported that after the agenda was published, she received a further opinion from the municipality of Tweed, Integrity Commissioner and lawyer John Ewart, who indicated that because our procedural bylaw fails to address the process for reconsideration, there is no clear path forward. Mr. Ewart advised that while it is possible to bring back the bylaw for voting by council under sections 5111 and 2021 of the Municipal Act, it is not a recommendation that he would suggest, as it would leave the municipality at risk for further appeal. Since 2026 is the election year, this could jeopardize the election process if the composition of council were to change mid-cycle. So I have a comment, if I may, I'd like to read on this before we move any further. First of all, Clerk Carlin, is there anything you would like to add before I say anything? Okay, are you okay with that? I'm sorry. Okay. Like I said, I would like to now offer a statement for the record. First, I want to extend sincere thanks to Clerk Krellin, Deputy Clerk Wales, and CIO Diskey. We recognize the significant amount of time and effort you dedicated to reviewing this matter despite your already demanding workloads. Your thorough investigation has been invaluable. As you have identified, a number of our vulnerabilities lie within our current procedural bylaw. It lacks clarity in several areas, including the process for renewing motions and the extent to which external authorities such as Robert Rules of Order should be consulted. Our clerk has confirmed that a full and comprehensive review of the procedural bylaw will take place, and I want to thank her for her steady guidance and professionalism throughout this process. We are fortunate to have her leadership. A key element in this analysis is a position by provided by Fred Dean, who noted that in the absence of clear direction in our procedural bylaw, council could proceed with tabling the bylaw. Out of the abundance of caution, I asked the CIO and clerk to consult our Integrity Commissioner for further guidance on the interpretation. While the Integrity Commissioner agreed with Mr. Dean's position, he also identified an important caveat. Anyone could revisit a bylaw and request an investigation within the year. Such a process would unfold during an active municipal election period, leading to operational disruptions and creating unnecessary strain on staff. It would also expose the municipality to significant legal costs as we defend the matter midstream in the electoral cycle leading up to October 26, 2026 election. With that in mind, and to avoid creating further administrative, legal, or financial burdens for the municipality, I recommend that council allow this matter to simply lapse on the floor and not to proceed and vote on the bylaw. This is consistent with the direction I proposed at our last council meeting. Are there any objections? Seeing none and hearing none, we will move on to the next item on the agenda. I want to thank everyone for your strong commitment to the discussions of this issue. So now I've got to just go through here.
I think we should call the vote at a time.
No,
No?
no, thank you. Okay, so was that the last bylaw thing? I can't see. Bylaw composition of count? No, what's the other one? Oh, no, that's part of this one up there.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just, items for consideration, but I have. Sorry. Okay, could I have a move and a seconder to table the Quinte Conservation, Brad McNiven, CIO, Quinte Conservation request for support resolution not consolidating the conservation authorities. Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Fleeler, and thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Okay, and there was Quinte Conservation did provide us with other resolutions that have been supported by other municipalities. I have a couple of things that I wanted to share that, although I know, first of all, I want to recognize the importance of Quinte Conservation and the value that they provide. I mean, they keep us safe, and that's their primary reason. However, where I have trouble is the way at some of their practices. I want to cite one in particular. We had there was a proponent for a project within our community that went through all the process and basically it resulted in that it went to a hearing at Quinte Conservation. And the proponent asked myself and Councillor Valley-Cat, in fact, asked everybody, but we were the two that accepted to attend this hearing. And we were away at a conference, so we zoomed into the hearing, and it was a public hearing. And I think I was gobsmacked when I'm looking at this hearing, and the only person presenting is the Quinte Conservation representative. There was no opportunity for the proponent to present their case to the board. There was no opportunity for the proponent to ask questions of the presentation. It was a fait accompli. And to me, it was dictatorial in that regard. It was nothing to do with a hearing. And I had great concern with that, and also did Councillor Valley-Cat. So I reached out to Warden Mullen, who actually is still a member of the Trent Valley Authority, Conservation Authority, and presented this to him, that I felt how dismayed I was that it's not a hearing, because a hearing gives an opportunity for everybody to present their positions. And so I explained to what happened there, and he said, well, that's not what they do at Trent Valley Conservation Authority. What they do is they allow the proponent to present, they allow the Conservation Authority to present, then there's discussion and dialogue between, and then the board makes its decision. So I have great concerns with that concept. The other thing that troubles me is the proponent has asked for a clip of that session because it was public, and Quinte Conservation is electing not to provide them with the clip. So it'd be like somebody coming in and saying, okay, you have captured our public meetings here, and we'd like a clip on this particular thing. And we said, no, you can't have it, you can't have it. And furthermore, we're going to pull it down so you can't access it. So that's, I struggle with that. The other thing I struggle with is, we have it coming up later in our meeting, is the, maybe I'll just leave it to that. No, I'm going to talk about it because it's relevant to what we're going to be looking at here. And this is in regards to the River Street development and the proponent builder there, Chisholm's, who a plan for subdivision. In June 2023, they tabled originally this subdivision plan, and Quinte Conservation commented. And one of the comments they said is, please be aware, you have to be 100 meters away from the wellhead for any oil that you're going to be putting in. Well, I think it was assumed at that time that the builders were not looking at oil, they were likely looking at natural gas or something to that effect. So anyway, the plan processes was going on, they were incurring significant costs in the development of that subdivision. This council in January of 2024 invited all of our builders in for one-on-one sessions with council. In closed session, we invited Quinte Conservation, we invited planning. They were here, also with Shelby Cramp-Nyman was here. And what it was an opportunity was for our builders to present their plans, and for people at the table, planning and Quinte Conservation, to identify things to be aware of as you're going through the process, so that you can be be prepared to deal with these things. At no time did Quinte Conservation mention, and I think it was Brad McNevin that was here at that time, that about the 100-meter thing, which is coming out later on again. Nobody mentioned that at all. So then in, oh my God, I'm getting my numbers here, June of this year, Quinte Conservation then made a ruling about the 100-meter and provided all kinds of restrictions, which we will get to later when we move down later. And it's like, okay, why has it taken 2 years for the proponent of this project, who has incurred significant costs and following through on the studies as requested by planning and by everyone else and us, when we ask people to put in a subdivision, what we expect them to do, and then to find out at the 11th hour that your plan for 21 houses is now gonna have to be shrunk down to 10 houses. I mean, to me, that is mind-boggling. Now, I only share that because I, as much as I appreciate what Quinny Conservation does, I have severe concerns about the certain way they handle certain initiatives. Myself, I will support reservedly the resolution that they are asking us to support, but they have to realize that they have to change their position on how they're dealing with certain matters. I just wanted to share that. And now Lucas, I got logged out of your thing. I don't know your password to get back in. Or do I just, maybe, oh, no, I got it. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. I don't know if anybody else want, yes, please go ahead.
And Mayor, I don't disagree that there needs to be some tweaking of the system, so to speak, and like you said, that should have came out right from the get-go. But I think if we allow these conservation authorities to merge into one big entity, then I guess what we call the intimate relationship we have with conservation and the ability to go to just Brad McNevin to correct any or clarify any things that come forward will be lost. And I think it's kind of important that we maintain a closer relationship than we would have in a bigger entity. Was my thought.
Yes, Councilor Palmer too.
Your worship, I was having similar thoughts to Deputy Mayor DeMarche, but kind of in a different scope. We want this intimate relationship. However, when the municipality, along with the Kiwanis of Tweed, wanted to do a simple task, such as upgrading the ramp at our pavilion, it became a big thing. And I don't know why it had to be a big thing when we're both community groups. We actually pay them, and why there couldn't be discussion. There was no intimate relationship there until we pushed back for it. So I think the Conservation Authority has to remember that we're all, the part of having a smaller conservation authority is that we're all a community base together. That's their advantage over moving to this. So they need to keep that their advantage. So that's just my friendly reminder let's work together to have progress.
Thank you very much. Councillor Valiquette.
I just want to circle back to what you initially started with, and that was the hearing that was held. So a local proponent requests a hearing. And then when they get to the hearing, they're not allowed to be heard. And I have significant concerns with that. If somebody comes to us and they ask for their time, we give them their time. And not that the decision may have been any different at the end of that hearing, which would have been fine, but the proponent was given no opportunity. So, going back to having tight relationships with smaller groups, if they don't buy into what you're both suggesting, that we need to be able to work together, it makes me question whether or not we may, at the end of the day, get a more consistent service from a larger entity, right? Who performs more professionally and who performs according to the way or according to expectations. And I definitely didn't see that in that meeting, which was very disappointing. And then, just to echo what everybody else has said, coming back 2 years later with something else, not working with our local Kiwanians with an entrance into a pavilion that's been there for years, with the ramp that currently goes down into the floodplain. I mean, a lot of these things make common sense, and that close relationship, although we like to think we have it, in being able to call the chair of the Quinny Conservation, I don't really think it actually exists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the motion is be it resolved that council directs staff to prepare a support resolution to be brought forward at a future council meeting for consideration. All in favor? Yeah. Reluctantly. Okay, thank you. Now could I have a movement a seconder to table the Nancy, Nellen, Newton, Flinton Road, Tweed, Ontario correspondence and photos received from them re the culvert installation on Flynn Road with the request that the municipality reimburse them for the cost of excavating and replacing the 3/4 inch stone in their driveway. Could I have a movement a seconder, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Thank you, Councillor Fleeter. Sorry. Over to you, Ryan. Did you have anything that you would like to share on this particular file?
Through the chair, nothing particular. This was a routine maintenance thing that we do. We go around when we see there's issues with drainage and culverts that are blocked up. This was nothing out of the ordinary for us. You know, we did notice when we were there that this entrance didn't have a driveway culvert installed. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe years ago, it may not have needed it. But when we went and cleaned out those ditches, it was evident that we needed that crossing for the water to get down to the low point. Other than that, typical maintenance.
Yeah, yes. You know.
Mayor, I did visit the site and, I don't disagree with the public with the saying. But, at that point now, there was two culverts that you can see the pictures that kind of intersect. And it's kind of an unusual situation because there's kind of like two hills that come down and the way the natural water flow is gonna pool kind of in those two culvert areas. And the potential for flooding was there and for us as a municipality to ditch that to the ditch along Marl Bank Road would have been extremely costly because of the way the road went up here. So I think, the potential for water intrusion on their land was there. And this was a very effective way to get that water to that Marl Bank Road ditch. And I gotta say, probably at far less cost than we would incur trying to get it through our ditches to Marl Bank Road.
Your take on what you just heard from the deputy mayor. Thank you.
Through the chair, the area where you're going to get the runoff from this section is going to be so minimal. It comes off Marl Bank Road and it's going to go down to that crossing we have there. There may be a 50-meter section of water that's going to go down there. I can't see this flooding drainage issue that's being portrayed here as being what they say it is. I don't see it.
Yes, yeah, escape.
And just so council knows, through the chair, Ryan and I did visit the site and we looked at the overall structure and topography there. We met with the two residents and had a discussion with them. So we are familiar with the site. We were there. We did speak to the residents, and I believe at that time we indicated that we weren't sure if we could assist them in this drainage ditch. We indicated that one, we would not be putting municipal staff or machinery on their property. And two, the only thing we agreed to was to look at a quote that they were asking for that extra ditch to be dug. But we did not commit to any proposals or any action taken. Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions, comments? Okay. Be it resolved that council directs, okay, well, I need to know, do we want to direct staff to reimburse or not reimburse? So somebody, what was the motion was just to table it. I didn't like to get it on the table. So I need direction. Who wants to make a motion to either reimburse or not reimburse? Deputy Mayor Marsh.
Mayor, I know it's unusual circumstances and it's one of those things that, just speaking to them, they didn't have a culvert in there and I don't, like Ryan had said, I don't know what happened back then, but I think this is gonna need to add to it. So I'm gonna move that we reimburse. It's an economical way to solve that water flow to that ditch.
Okay, I'm going to read the resolution and be it resolved that council directs staff to reimburse Nancy and Alan Newton for the cost of excavating and replacing the 3/4 inch stone in their driveway. Moved by Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Do you have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. All in favor?
Can I ask a question,
Sure.
Your Worship? So Deputy Mayor, are you looking to reimburse for everything, the ditching across the yard? And
Just, yeah,
the stuff?
I think the councillor.
We can't pull this stuff up.
Councillor Palmetier, I think the $1,100 and they're just asking because of the culvert that wasn't there. We don't know what happened. So just some 3/4 stone to replace what was dug up. I mean, it probably would have been there if the culvert was initially required, but now that the culvert had to be put in, and I don't necessarily have a culvert necessarily, but now that's been dug up and they don't have the kind of a muddy mess. So I think that's, just say a courtesy thing to do when the end of the day,
Okay, so go ahead.
So just for clarity, so how much are we looking at just replacing the stone? The 3/4 stone, or? Because the invoice that I'm looking at is for $1,100 and it's a float, excavator, labor with a laser. If we're just replacing stone,
No, through the mayor, Councilor Vaca. So the invoice you're seeing is for Tiners to excavate that little ditch along their own property.
Yeah.
To thing. I don't think the stone, I think the stone was in addition to that. I don't know if we carry 3/4 stone, but I think.
so I don't really know what we're approving.
Yeah, what are we proving then? That if that's not that bill, then,
Well, I would move that we, you know, with what's submitted, that we just approve what's submitted to us at this point, and, that's all, I mean, let's see, ask, I guess.
Well, they're asking to replace 3/4 stone in their driveway, not to pay for all of the stuff that's on that sales invoice. And I don't know if we stock our own Queeth 3/4 stone. We don't. But I'm not seeing any bill for 3/4 stone. I'm seeing an invoice for everything else,
yes, go ahead, Councilor.
just for clarity.
Through the mayor to manager of public works, did we know if there's flooding on that property? Have we had, like I'm just, like,
Yeah.
we dug a ditch, but we don't know if there is water pooling there yet.
Through the chair to Councillor Palmetier, we don't know if there's ever been flooding there or not. I've talked to some of our guys that have been here quite a while. They've never ran into issues with it flooding too much there. And just to say again, this issue where there might be flooding, it's going to be catching 50 meters of half the side of road that's going to be going over there. The rest is going to be going down to Marlbank where the crossing exists.
Well, it is clear, we're not sure what we're voting on here. Okay, so, yes, please go ahead.
Through the chair, could I make the recommendation that we're willing as the Public Works Department, we can go down there, touch it up. If it's gravel they're looking for at this entrance, we can supply some of our, we'll call it cleaner stuff to touch it up if that's what they're looking for. We can do that as a symbol of good gesture.
Okay, okay, first of all, let's vote on this motion. And then maybe we have to defeat it because it's, or else we can amend. Okay, let me see here. Be it resolved that council directs staff to use our own gravel to help address the problem. Okay, so for the driveway. And
We have the motion on the floor, right?
yeah, I think we have to defeat this motion.
Can I just say something?
Mhm.
So the description I'm just reading, it says, correspondence was received in St. Albans. Glenville requested the municipality reimbursement for the cost of excavating and replacing the 3/4. So I think by Public Works suggestion that what he was going to propose, that eliminates that. So we were just left with the cost of excavating. Am I correct? That's what we're being asked here.
I can't pull up anything unfortunately, so I
think
can't see it.
Public Works Manager's already taken stone off with his suggestion. No, we do have an invoice attached, like Councilor Patrick said, I think to ask him.
Yes, Council Palmetier. I can't pull up anything unfortunately, I'm sorry, so.
Like, your worship, from the municipality's standpoint, the ditching, we have to get the water away from the roads to preserve the roads. That's a typical part of how we handle it. We need to keep it away from the base of the roads. So this is just good maintenance for getting the water apart. So I can understand the courtesy of the gravel, but I don't understand the piece inside on the piece of property.
Yeah. Let's do the motion first, and then if we approve it, it goes ahead. If not, we defeat it, and then we come back with another motion. Are we okay with that? Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Your worship, I think the concern is that as a result of doing this work, it would have dumped all the water on the property. There's no way for it to get away. So that's why they had the people come in and dig the ditch to
But you know, we gotta be
Oh.
careful because anybody could come in and start doing other things like that and say, well, I did it as a preventative because like, you know, unless like, and we have to rely also on what our staff says here, and there has not been a flooding issue. And then the fact that majority of the water, my understanding is going on the other side. So we have to be careful, like, you know. I think we have a motion on the floor. Let's vote on that motion. And then if need be, we can revise the motion. So be it resolved that council directs staff to reimburse Nancy and Alan Newton for the cost of excavating and replacing the 3/4 stone in the driveway. You moved it, Deputy Mayor Demarche, and you seconded it, right? All in favor? Okay, motion defeated. Now, can I put on, be it resolved that council directs staff to provide a complimentary, I don't know what inch stone it would be, but gravel, I'll say, to assist with the driveway. Just to go ahead.
Through the chair,
That's
we
right.
carry 5/8 and we have like a crushed trap rock right now for winter maintenance, one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or for the stone as requested, I'll put it that way. For the stone, you got that, Lori? The best. Could I have a move and a second to get that on tape? Thank you, Councilor Palmetier. Thank you, Councilor Valley-Cat.
Your worship.
Yes.
I just want to reiterate to the individuals, this can come back if there's new information.
Sure.
So if something comes back and you have evidence that
There's been
that
flooding.
it really has changed the topography,
Thank you.
just what we're basing it on right now is
Okay.
it's difficult.
Okay. Thank you very much for that clarification and for that suggestion and recommendation. So I have a mover and a seconder. Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion passed. Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the River Street West subdivision update? Please, a mover and a seconder for that. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Councilor Valley-Cat. Okay, could I turn it over to you, Lucas? Well, I talked about it already a bit, like when I referenced my concerns with Quinte conservation, but
Through the mayor, I really don't have anything to add. I think you provided a summary earlier in the meeting of what's outlined in my staff report. Jason Budd from Hastings County is here today if council has any specific questions.
well, I think the thing is Quinte Conservation has made a recommendation. Even though the proponent of the project has come back and outlined many options and things that they're going to do to mitigate the situation. However, Quinte Conservation has been firm, and they also cite it as a recommendation, which I hate, because if they so totally believe in it, why do they not say it has to be? So it puts the onus on us, but then we are also responsible for protecting the wellhead and 700 homes that use that as a source of water. So ultimately, I don't know, I'm feeling that we have to support the recommendation, which, as I indicated, is totally unfair to the proponent that they are finding out this late in the game, and have incurred significant costs in studies and engineering plans and whatnot. Are there any other questions? Yes, Councilor Palmetier.
Your worship, my only questions, there's kind of two pieces. Do we know how far our wellhead is from the ditch? And do we also know how far it is from dwellings that are currently there?
How do you, go ahead, Lucas. Sorry.
Yeah, through the mayor to all of council. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but certainly using the GIS tools, those numbers can be approximately measured fairly quickly. But I don't have a definite number right now.
Yeah, no, that's my fault for just thinking of it now. So sorry to put you on the spot, but your worship, my point is that from the ditch, anything can happen on the roadway. When it comes
meters, that's for
when it comes to oil spills or other contaminants and things like that. And if that happens it would happen fairly often on the roadway if you think of a vehicle leaking oil or something like that. So, you know, I understand the abundance of caution, but where the well sits is already located close to these other potential issues. And that's why we watch our water so close. That's why we have a partnership with Aqua to make sure things stay that way. This, to me, this is just, we're looking at a situation, black and white based on a rule book. We're not looking at a situation based on the situation.
Well, even if you look at it, Moira Place is not even 100 meters away. That's 300 feet. That's quite a distance away, like, you know, right across the road, for example. And you go ahead, Lucas.
Through the mayor, we just took a quick measurement on the GIS. It's approximately just over 50 meters from the ditch to the well area.
Meters.
Well, I asked about the other house because we don't know what they're using to build their home. Like, they
No.
could be using oil in
Yeah.
there right now.
And they could be using fertilizer for their lawn.
Like, so the other thought that came across in about the whole oil thing, and I agree with the mayor, nobody heats with oil anymore. I mean, they're natural gas or heat pumps or something. Sometimes you can attach, condition on title, say, no oil storage on site. Is that a possibility that we can do there to alleviate that concern? Just, I hope I get that across, right?
Go ahead, Justin, if you want to come up to the microphone.
Thank you, your worship. Through your worship, you can do that, yes.
And can you do the same for fertilizers?
You-
Like, you know, because the Quinny Conservation had an issue with people using fertilizer and creating nitrates, but we already have huge nitrates as it is because of the farming community around there.
Yes, you can.
No. Just stay there, okay? Thank you.
Is there any way that we could have this deferred so that we could go back and,
Sure.
and see? Like, I just don't wanna put this in play
No, I think
without having another kick at the cat, you know what
I
I mean?
think it's a good idea that we'd look into what you just said, Deputy Mayor Marsh. We look into some of the other things that were just raised by Councillor Valiquette and Councillor Palmetier. And we bring this back to our next meeting before we make a decision. Are we prepared to defer?
I certainly think it's a worthwhile conversation and it may alleviate any concerns they have. And maybe other things can come up in the meantime. The last thing you wanna do is stigmatize the project because of. This.
I'm good with that. I mean, like, you guys have raised some good points here, and I think let's do a little bit more investigation into this. Also reaching out to Quinny Conservation and getting more clarification from them. Also from why it's taken them this long as well. I'd like to know that. And because when you read the reports, the proponent has done many things to address, many costly things to address the concerns that were raised. And no matter what it is, it's not enough. Yes, this is the other thing. Yes, that's going to happen, but what if? And it's always the what ifs that stop things from happening. Of course, you have to be prepared and, like, you know, what you presented there with respect to the oil, no holding oil, or like, and then when I mentioned about fertilizers, and it's something we can do as part of this. I think these are great ideas then. Like, you know, I didn't know you could do that. So I think let's defer this. And yes, go ahead.
I just want to kind of throw it there for everybody who's sort of consuming this for the next meeting, is that there might be a happy medium, right? That we've put a wellhead in that's in, let's say it's 50 meters to that next nearest house.
Mhm.
So we made the decision years ago to do that with I would assume at the time, taking into account, you know, heating and nutrient runoff and salt from the road. So there may be somewhere where we can strike a balance that protects the wellhead, because the protection of that is not only important to 700 people who live in town, but the whole municipality who in an emergency may rely on that water source. So I just think that we may be able to do something that is a balanced approach.
Well, I think like what source water protection over the years, like, you know, has introduced stricter and stricter requirements. It's a given. And then that's why we've had to make arrangements with local farmers for like, you know, containment areas for manure and stuff like that. So it doesn't seep into the ground and whatnot. So like, you know, rules and regulations change over time. However, I mean, if we can work with our proponent of this particular project and find other caveats that we can rely on to help to encourage the development, then I think it's in the best interest of our community and the best interest of us and in the best interest of this province and looking at housing to at least entertain those. Lucas, you wanted to say
Yeah, through the mayor, I just need some clarity, I guess, before we bring it back to the next meeting. We do have the peer reviewer comments with a number of suggestions and mitigating measures that they've suggested. We also have Quinte Conservation's position and letters as well. I'm just looking for, I guess, the specifics of what additional information council would need to make a decision at the.
I would like to suggest that we look at some of the ideas that have been tabled around this to see how one would go about doing that and how it would be part of any agreement. I think the other thing that we have to look at, yes, they've done the studies and the peer reviews on the studies have actually been supportive of the studies. Okay, and it's just this last minute 100-meter everything that is troubling to us. And if we can work with the proponent and Quinte Conservation and come up with some of these other things, well then we would like to see what those are, get their input in that as well, and then make a decision at another meeting in regards to whether or not we're going to proceed with this. Are we okay with this? You okay? We can always, you always reach out too if you need more clarification to any of us. Are you okay? Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome to stay for the rest of it.
Do we defeat it or just defer it? Okay. Okay. Will that show up on here for me too when you do that?
I'm not on the laptop.
Okay. I'll come over with Jimmy and each year's.
Give it the whole 1 second.
I can tell you.
Is that the right one?
No, yeah, it looks like it's changing now. It's Jason, thank you very much for coming out here for this. Jeez. Oh my gosh, poor you. I had to sit through all this.
Mayor, I'm not sure.
Jason, but from planning,
Okay.
county
sorry.
planning,
Okay,
sorry.
I didn't know.
Okay, sorry about that. Is that you?
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm not getting it here showing up on Jim's screen. I'm getting it to uphold they recommended. Does anybody have it? Okay, let me see. Okay, it's loading. Okay, I got it. Okay, ready? Be it resolved that council received the report titled River Street West Subdivision Update dated December 9th, 2025 as presented, and further the council defer this matter to a future council meeting in order to allow time for investigations of the questions raised. All in favor? Excellent. Good work, gang. Okay, so that's now your screen's not going. Oh, there we go. Okay. Jeez. Okay, so are we on information items now? Okay, just could I have a mover and a seconder to table correspondence information, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarsh, and thank you, Councillor Flaler. Is there anything in there that anybody would like to bring forward? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Mayor, I just want to speak to 12.7.5 Eastern Ontario Regional Network. I see they've got a new tower up on the Black River Road, Queensboro area. And when we've had a few new towers go live lately in our area, and that's fantastic. We have some bid zones. But I was wondering, Mayor, if at the next time you are able to address this, I still hear 2 consistent bid zones. And it's been ongoing for quite some time. And one is on Moneymore Road. And the other one is in the Sherry Road area of Thomasburg. So if that's something you could bring forward, I think that you just actually completely die in one of those areas.
Well, I find I die right outside of Tweed here.
It's
Yep.
just towers.
Yeah.
I die as soon as I go down the hill.
That's right,
you know,
exactly,
swamp there.
And all
exactly.
these towers seem to be Rogers now, and I noticed I was with Bell personally, and I switched back to Rogers and my signal's fantastic.
Yeah, that's Rogers won that contract.
I think those two areas still need to require attention if that's something.
If you want to put it into an email and send it to me.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Anything anybody want to bring forward? Seeing,
What, your worship, there's mention of the, waste, the blue box, 12.3, 12.3. And in that whole,
there was a,
item, there's also homeless.
yeah,
And as we see, the tariff situation keeps pounding us to death. All these people are losing their jobs. It compounds that homeless situation. I don't know what we can do. It's
No,
a
I know.
sad state of affairs.
it is. Anything else, anybody there?
Your worship?
Yes, go ahead.
12.7.2 Ministry of Natural Resources. The ministry is looking at the black bear harvest and black bear populations. In our municipality, there's still an extremely high black bear population. So just for members of the public, they have a period right now where they're hearing feedback, as some areas in the province have seen lower populations. From an agricultural standpoint, they do significant damage to crops. In the spring, they can be issues with small calves or lambs and things like that. So it's just, if anybody's impacted or sees an abundance of bears, it's important that they get feedback so they know how to manage it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none? Be it resolved that the correspondence information be received and filed. All in favor? Thank you. I just gotta scroll down here now. Could I have move and a seconder for the committee board and board minutes, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions on said minutes? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the October 31st, 2025 Committee of Adjustment and Planning minutes as presented. All in favor? Now we're going to be moving into a closed meeting. Be it resolved that council go into a closed meeting at Lori. Thank you. Okay, I have a move and a seconder, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. All in favor? Thank you. Lucas, it's crazy that I have no problem at home. Yeah, if, unless you want to hear for this, the who's. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, jeez. Oh. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. We finished our closed meeting. This is notification of closed meeting and staff direction. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Be it resolved that staff follow council direction from the closed meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Now, can I move in a seconder for the conformatory bylaw, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Be it resolved that the conformatory bylaw number 2025-106 be read a first, second, and third and final time passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 9th day of December 2025. All in favor? Thank you. And could I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn today's meeting? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier, and thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Be it resolved that council adjourn at Laurie. All in favor? Thank you.